Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, a.k.a. Grizzer, and this is where you can come on in 7 days a week. The streak is still alive, 7 days a week since we started. We're going to try to keep that going, but so far, so good. You come in here 7 days a week, get caught up on the latest news involving our Cleveland Browns, and then get some opinions, not only from me, but all of you from the viewer comments along the way. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes, to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. We are like that close to 7,000 subscribers. The fit changes. And to everyone who gets their comments in the viewer comment section. And then, of course, those of you who maybe scanned that QR code and are now members and awaiting the exclusive videos and things. So we'll get to it very soon. All right, now, we got a lot to unpack. Day 2 of training camp. They back out in Berea, and Shedeur Sanders was looking to bounce back in a big way. I'm going to start ramping up the trade talks for a running back because we had another NFL starting quarterback get carted off the field already. We got a few options, but only one of our quarterbacks made it in the top 5 of the NFL's players with the most to prove in 2025. And then down in the viewer comments, someone was with me on my over 6 wins bet. But now, maybe not. All right. First things first, let's get you set up on what's going to happen today. Okay, so Friday's practice schedule, they're sliding it. Everything's going to get started in the morning. And so 11:20, you'll see we'll hear from Bill Musgrave today and Jacques Césaire. And in some players, we'll hear from them. And Kevin Stefanski at 1:30. Practices at 2 p.m. today. And it is the first open practice. So the fans will be out there. They'll be hooting and hollering and barking and all kinds of stuff. They'll be celebrating the 40th anniversary of the dog pound out there today. It is going to be quite the scene out in Berea. For a Friday late morning into early afternoon. And tomorrow you'll see they're going to the morning practice, also open. And Kevin Stefanski will be available, 9:30 practice, and then Sunday day off. And so that's your schedule for the weekend, but more importantly for today. Now, what was going on out there in Berea yesterday afternoon? So first things first. Andrew Berry spoke, and it's probably the biggest story of the day because he talked about Quinshon Judkins and said he gave us they're still gathering information line, and his future will be determined based on all of the facts that will be coming to light. Now, it gives us a little more hope, right? He says it's a day-to-day thing, and then they were trying to, ask him, they were grilling him, trying to find out, like, okay, did you know anything like this in his past? Like, how do you vet these guys, this and that? And, he wasn't, what's he going to say? They didn't know. Shoot, I was screaming up and down to draft him. So anyway, Quinshon Judkins is still, we have no idea what's going to happen with him. But he also talked about Shedeur Sanders and the going 100 miles per hour and the 90 miles per hour. And he talked about the dangerousness of those decisions. He said they talked to him about it. And that's what they wanted to get the point across to him was how dangerous doing things like that really is. Asked about expectations for the season, and he said every year is different. That's all he said. That's all he would give up on it. Then somebody asked him if he was going to go to the Ohio State-Texas game. Probably, if they're trying to find out if he's going to go scout Arch Manning. And he said, I can't give away all my secrets. You know what that is? That's a yes. So he'll be going to Ohio State-Texas. And then how about this? Kenny Pickett talked, and he says he feels his skill set applies to the offense, the Kevin Stefanski's offense. And so he likes having Joe Flacco there for advice. And he likes playing against the defense and Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward and the rest of them because he says, it's a great defense and it's making him better. And the other thing he said, I thought that was interesting, he's never been under center as much as he has been so far in this offense. So this is he said, he's been under center before, but this is the most he's ever been under center in an offense like this. And Flacco talked. He says play action a big part of what they're doing, and he kept a set schedule over the summer break, and he's just staying in the moment, and he knows what. I think he has an idea what the plan is. And I tell you, it's hard not to like Joe Flacco. He's just so calming. And that's why it's like, ugh, when you hear him talk, I mean, even though he's 40, it's like, gosh, like him in the huddle has got to be like just so reassuring, especially for the younger guys. Like, I mean, just nothing seems to, I mean, the guy's seen everything. So, but when just watching him talk, I was just like, man, he's just so calming. It's got to be great in the huddle. Now, you're like, Dave, that's all fine and dandy. But we don't care about talk. We care about the walk. Got to walk the walk. Can't just talk the talk. So what happened on the field, Davey boy? Well, I will tell you what happened on the field. Flacco was up first in the 11-11. So here's how it broke down. Flacco, and then Pickett, and then Gabriel. And you're like, but Dave, all we care about is the quarterback tracker. All right, I got the quarterback tracker. I'm telling you, I'm getting real close to being over the quarterback tracker. But here it is. Here's your breakdown for day 2. Flacco, 4 for 10. I was just talking him up. But look at that. You talk about a bounce back. That's how you bounce back, Shedeur. 4 for 4. No touchdowns and no picks. But look at that. 4 for 4. Kenny Pickett, 9 for 11 and a pick. And the pick was awful. I mean, there was no rush. He had all day to throw. And he threw... I mean, Grant Delpit had this receiver blanketed, and he threw it right to him. Horrible interception, but he had all day to throw. It wasn't even, there was no rush. It was weird. And then Dylan Gabriel, 6 for 8. So that's the other thing you have to, kind of keep in mind, is that they, it's still not real football. It's still looking like, mini camp. So David Njoku back at practice, though, today. So that was nice to see. But there's your quarterback tracker, Shedeur, with the huge bounce back. That is what you want to see from a rookie. You have a rough day the day before. You have a great day the next day. It all balances out, people. You just got to be patient. This is going to ebb and flow. It'll ebb and flow. Shedeur is back, baby. He is back. Now, somebody who wasn't back, Jerome Ford, still out. And I'm like, okay, we might have to start ramping up the trade talks, because did you see Justin Fields carted off the field with the Jets yesterday? So now they may need a quarterback. So you got Tennessee, New Orleans. You've got who's the other? The Jets. Like there are some other teams out there that could use a backup quarterback. So, but here's what I want to do. I want to see if we can maybe work a running back into the deal. And so I did a little digging. And here are some running back trade possibilities that I think because the contracts will work. And so here we go. Let's go through this. Here, we'll start with Travis Etienne with the Jaguars. Now, they love him, I guess. They say they do. But remember, they got the tank in there last year. And so, he's had good years. He's a smaller back. That's the one reason I was never really big on him. But his contract, he's still on his rookie deal. And he's in his last year in his rookie deal, so he'll be motivated. His 2025 salary cap hit, those $6 million. That's a lot. So he is the least of the possibilities, I think. How about Antonio Gibson from New England? His cap hit only 2.3, so that's a little more in our range, thanks to Sean. But they drafted Travion Henderson, and they just extended Ramondre Stevenson. And so Gibson could be the odd man out in New England, and New England may be willing to listen. Then you got Kenny Walker III. We talked about him the other day because Zach Charbonnet coming on, and he's still got a couple years left on his rookie deal. Kenny Walker doesn't. Listen to this. Kenny Walker, though, his base salary is 1.8. So that's a number I think we can work with. He'll be a free agent in 2026, but, if you can get Kenny Walker from Seattle, I would consider that. And then you got the Jets, and now they need a quarterback, maybe, possibly. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Fields? But they have Braylon Allen, and who showed some promise as a rookie. He posted an 82 PFF rushing grade, so he's on his rookie deal. That's somebody that we may be able to get. And when I say, okay, let's say we trade Kenny Pickett there. I'm not saying we trade him straight up for Braylon Allen. I mean, they're gonna have to be picks involved and some other things here. But you got teams that need veteran quarterbacks. Tennessee, Brandon Allen is the backup, and here's who I looked at. Like, yes, there's Tony Pollard. You're not getting Pollard or Spears, but here's the deal. Julius Chestnut. He played in all 17 games last year, and he was pretty good for him when he played. So that's somebody you could throw into a deal for a quarterback. Minnesota. Sam Howell is the backup in Minnesota to J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy is basically a rookie. Yeah, he was hurt all last year. He was with the team last year. But the problem is they just brought in Jordan Mason. So, you think Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason are their top two, but they still have Tyson Chandler, who's not bad, and his base salary is only 1.1. So, Tyson Chandler could work. I looked at it, New Orleans. Problem, like with Kamara, I mean, he makes so much money. It's ridiculous. Like, we're never going to fit Kamara in under, I think. And then, like the Giants, they're kind of I looked at that too, but they don't need a quarterback. So anyway, we got to ramp up because I'm getting a little worried, with this Judkins situation. Now, Jerome Ford, they're calling it a minor injury, but he's hurt. Is this something that's going to keep coming up the rest of the year? We're down to Sampson and a bunch of guys we never heard of. So we may need to do something about that running back room. Now, somebody who needs to do something about their 2025 season made the list of NFL played in the top 5 of this is from CBS again, so take it with a grain of salt. It wasn't from the Jonathan Jones guy, though. This is somebody different. These are the top 5 players they're watching more closely because they say they have the most to prove in 2025. And let me dial up the list for you. Who do you think from what Browns quarterback? It's a Browns quarterback that is on the list. I mean, I right away go to Shedeur, right? He fell in the draft, and right? Joe Flacco, he's 40. Everybody thinks he's over the hill and done. He's got a lot to prove, right? Dylan Gabriel, everybody rips on him because he's 5'11" and left-handed, and he's got a lot to prove in the NFL. But you know who made the list? Come on, situational grit. Kenny Pickett, Mr. Under Center, drop back, throw horrible interception to Grant Delpit in practice yesterday. So Kenny Pickett, you see Anthony Richardson is on that list along with J.J. McCarthy, Jalen Moore, and then Kaiir Elam is down there for the Cowboys. But here's what they said about Kenny Pickett. All right, let's go to the quote from CBS Sports. Joe Flacco is the favorite to open the year, of course. I still feel that way. I mean, he was up first yesterday with the 11 on 11s. They say, but Pickett is 13 years younger and just a few years removed from entering the NFL as a first rounder. If he can't find a way to emerge from this competition, perhaps he is just number 2 material. So yeah, and we've been saying that all along, folks. He is playing for his NFL life. And so that's what's going to have to motivate him to try and win this job and win games with this team. I mean, he's playing for his NFL life. So I agree with that. Kenny Pickett has the most to prove. And to squeeze him into the top 5, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Now, one thing that has never, you guys don't need to prove anything to me because the viewer comments are always top notch. Now, we start today with Benny Briscoe, 84. And I said, man, that's like Lenny Briscoe, my favorite character from Law and Order. Remember, Jerry Orbach played him? But my wife, she loves Law and Order. I see a lot of Law and Order. But Lenny Briscoe, I love him. He's a great character on that show. He always has the zingers, Lenny Briscoe. But I digress. We're talking about Benny Briscoe. Here we go. He says, I was completely with you on the 6 wins, brother, until the Judkins situation, and Mike Hall now potentially missing time. Now it's looking like 6 wins is going to be pretty tough. Just hoping Shedeur proves he's our future. And I said, look, I feel you, but here's what I told him. I'm like, Jerome Ford, and I'm already worried about him now too. I said, Ford's 25. He's hungry. He's in the last year of that rookie deal. He should be motivated to ball out. The D-line, I'm not as worried about that. I mean, they've added a lot to that defensive line. So missing Michael Hall, because we barely had him last year. I don't think that's as big a hit. Ford will be a huge hit. If he keeps getting hurt this year, that's going to kill us. Hall won't be as much missed as much. Just keep your fingers crossed. Let's just get everybody healthy and get everybody back. All right, the Strike Zone TV says Aaron Rodgers is one of the best throwers of the football ever. I blew this one. Solely focus on Sanders, you're going to miss your window. Not going to miss the Sanders window. We have him for 4 years. We'll get to him eventually. But I agree with you. I love Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, especially in his prime. I was just like, remember we talked about it the other day. It's like, nobody dings on Pittsburgh because they got a 41-year-old quarterback. Everybody wants to ding on us because we got a 40-year-old quarterback. But, I mean, Flacco still has a cannon. So does Rodgers. We'll see. It's going to be fun to watch. Deal 5692. I thought this was a great take. He says, Kevin Stefanski keeps everyone guessing. It is why he will be fired at the end of the season. The worst thing a coach can do is keep everybody guessing. Look what the Giants did. Yeah, they drafted Dart, but they got Russell Wilson, and right away it came out and said, Wilson's our quarterback. Like, you didn't get that here. You didn't get Flacco's our quarterback, or you didn't get Pickett's our quarterback. You get the guessing game, and you get, you got 4 days. We're going to take the first 4 days and try to figure something out, and then, on Monday you might see the order change. Like, that it's a lot of like hearsay and conjecture. That's all we get, and so. You're not wrong, Deal 5692. I can lean into that, man. It's like we'll just clear a lot of things up. Now, the only thing I'll say about that is it wouldn't make this show as much fun because I love every day. Like we get in here and you just the quarterback trackers, all that stuff. It's crazy. All right, here we go. C Wolf 575. It would be nice if Sanders or Gabriel were a quarterback in the future, but we also need to be realistic if they don't measure up to what we need. If they are good for us, then the draft next year opens up with a lot more options for filling needed spots instead of trying to fill the biggest holes only. That's what we're rooting for. We need QB1 of the future to be in the room right now, Shedeur. That's what we need. And then we're going to, you know me, I like to end on a high note. Jiggy Bro 888. He says, nah, dog, you were with us from the start with 12. He said, you don't have to do anything but bring us good spirit every day. Love your show, and I wrote it already like 5 times before. Stay grizzed. I love that. I thought that was great. I really appreciated Jiggy Bro 88. I ran over and told my son, this is one of the greatest YouTube handles I think definitely. We have so many good YouTube handles, good passwords too. But I love the handle, and I love that's all we need, folks. Just stay positive, especially with the quarterback. It's gonna be ebb and flow, day by day, back and forth. Like Shedeur had 3 for 8 yesterday, comes right back today, 4 for 4. Everything's gonna be okay. I promise. It's football. It's fun. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.